This is ACC College Hoops, and this presentation of ACC basketball is presented by your local Ford dealer. PNC Arena is the site of our game today, a Saturday afternoon of the ACC, and here's the matchup. The Miami Hurricanes on the road to take on the NC State Wolfpack, which has won the last 3 meetings between the two teams. It is so great to have you with us for our game this afternoon of the ACC. Tom Wormy along with the All-American from Duke, Mike Jaminski. And for these teams, they played some close games recently, Mike. This Miami team has lost its last 3 games by a total of 5 points. NC State lost earlier this week in overtime to Clemson.
Well, for Miami, they've been the hard luck team so far. They've lost all those games. They're 0-4 in conference, but a ton of injuries. State's found a way to win some of those games, but they're coming off a loss against Clemson.
And because of those injuries for Miami, Isaiah Wong has had to step up, and that's exactly what he's done for Jim Larrañaga and the Canes.
He got a lot of valuable experience last year as a freshman, thrown into the starting lineup, and since that time, he's really responded, and he's been the one constant this year. 8 games, 8 starts, and he is a dynamic scorer.
Although he only scored 9 points in their most recent game, but here's what he has done so far this season. In the absence of McGusty and Likes, they're going to need production from Isaiah Wong today here at NC State. There's no secret on the Wolfpack side of the basketball. DJ Funderburk and Devin Daniels, they combined for 39 against Clemson.
Yeah, and both of them redshirt seniors, so they give a lot of leadership out on the floor, and they've also stepped up and been primary scorers for Kevin Keats, and the two of them need to have a big game today.
Very strong on the boards as well. So Daniels and Funderburk, those are the guys for the Wolfpack, and Kevin Keats, look at the numbers and what they've combined to do, especially for Daniels in ACC play. So we'll watch those two, and we'll keep an eye on Isaiah Wong as well. It's Miami, it's NC State, Saturday of the ACC. The lineups, the opening tip when we come back. Back in Raleigh, PNC Arena for the Canes and the Pack in the 26th all-time meeting. NC State leads at 6-4 here in Raleigh. Jim Larrañaga's team. Time to take a look at his Toyota starting lineup presented by your local Toyota dealer. And Nasir Brooks has been a nice addition to this team. The senior center averages almost 7 rebounds per game, and that leads the Canes in that category. Across the way for Kevin Keats. And the Toyota starting lineup presented by your local Toyota dealer for the Wolfpack features Manny Bates. Not only does he score 9.5 points per game, but he's a shot blocking machine, over 3 per game. Best in the conference and 8th in the nation, and over 100 in his career for the sophomore Manny Bates. NC State's in the white, Miami's in the black, and NC State has the ball first, Mike.
Well, you talked about Bates, and last year was a non-factor offensively, but now they feel like they can throw the ball inside.
Beverly trying to drive it, that ball bouncing out of bounds and to the Hurricanes. 10th year for Jim Larrañaga on that Miami bench, but his 37th year overall as a collegiate head coach. One more win and he goes by the legend John Wooden. They're both tied right now with 664 all-time wins.
See NC State pushing up the pressure full court, and that's just an effort, I think, to wear this undermanned Miami team out.
Cross. A little bit of daylight, doesn't get the bounce.
And if you haven't seen him play, I love his game. He's got a great feel. He's very unselfish, a good passer, doesn't have too many turnovers.
Helms launching the 3-ball. Matt Cross, 33 in black, the freshman from Beverly, Massachusetts, and Brewster Academy in New Hampshire. There's Isaiah Wong. We featured him at the top of the broadcast. Trying to go low to Brooks with a turnaround, and it'll drop.
A really nice position inside that time, both feet in the paint.
Redshirt senior Mike, the center, 7-footer, 240 pounds, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Nasir Brooks, who spent 3 years in the Cincinnati program prior to transferring to Miami and sitting out last year.
All 3 of those years with Cincinnati in the NCAA tournament. Another turnover too early for the Wolfpack.
Too early for the liking of Kevin Keats, the 4th-year head coach for the Pack. Won 20 games last year. In fact, in his 3 previous seasons prior to this year, 21 wins, 24 wins, and 20 last year, including 10 in conference play.
He got to the NCAA tournament, speaking of that, his first year here. NIT the second year.
21 and 12 in 2018, trying to save it. It's on the end line, and will stay at this end of the floor.
And that's what Manny Bates does better than just about everybody in college basketball. Coming over, second man in, no elevation on that layup, and that's an easy block. And normally he tries to keep those inbound.
109 blocks in his young career for NC State. And that is already 10th in school history for Manny Bates, the redshirt sophomore from Fayetteville, North Carolina. That is Wong, a little bit off balance, and NC State takes that in with Bates.
Yeah, just tried to do too much off the dribble that time. No ball movement, no player movement for Miami.
Braxton Beverly. Cross went up for it. Taken away by Bates for the moment, tried to put it on the floor, and Miami grabs it.
And he had really no choice. If you bring it down in that situation, chances are you're going to get it stolen. Another block.
And at the other end, Harlan Beverly, right to Wong. The shot was altered by Bates, but Wong hits it on the baseline.
It looked like everybody was starting to run out for NC State, and Wong just staying there, very opportunistic.
Isaiah Wong, sophomore, Piscataway, New Jersey. Here's the Beverly in white going off the board. Too strong.
That's what you want to do with Beverly, is chase him off the three-point line, make him a jump shooter mid-range.
Daniels was active on the glass. Here's another chance. It was Bates who stumbled down, but it was Wong at the other end for the Canes.
Well, here's the look. You see, there's no way. I mean, he's going to get a good look, and Bates tried to recover out on that, but a good finish on a tough shot.
Just 8 points in their most recent game against North Carolina, a loss 67-65 on Tuesday, and that was in Coral Gables. And Miami as a team shot just 35%, and they struggled from three-point distance. That's been an issue this year. We'll see if they can resolve that this afternoon against NC State. Daniels against 3 defenders, not a problem, Mike.
No, good crossover dribble, the pull-up. Again, it's not much offense, just a little action off the drive.
Devin Daniels looking to score. 16.5 points per game, his average, 7th best in the ACC. Miami losing the handle with Timberlake, and back to the Pack, and Daniels. Fancy pass into the corner for 3. And a connection by Helms.
Yeah, he just ran right to the corner. A good little behind the back pass. And look for NC State to try to push the tempo in this game. They want to run up and down today, get as many things they can in the open floor.
And that three-pointer has given them the early lead. Helms with his 9th made 3 of the season. NC State's second best in the conference in three-point shooting, 37%. Wong shed the defender. Couldn't hit the shot, and it's the outlet from Bates. Look at the passing all the way to the rim and the layup.
Thomas Allen with that, the redshirt junior.
He's from right here in Raleigh, and he ran the floor well, beat everybody down the court to the rim.
You could see the pressure for NC State. They made Brooks bring the ball up the floor. He had no outlets.
This is Brooks trying to go right down Broadway. Bates got a piece of it, but there was a whistle as well. We'll sort it out when we come back. Daniels getting some style points, and Helms cans the 3 ball. It's time for CPI Security, protecting the paint, and it features Manny Bates.
Yeah, it's an obvious choice in this game, and one of the premier shot blockers in the country, let alone the ACC, and right there just doing what he does best. But, Tom, that last foul was called on Bates. We've seen Brooks handle the ball and take a couple of shots here early. You know, if they can pick up that second foul on Bates, that would be a big plus for Miami. So let's see if they continue to go at him.
So right now the redshirt sophomore in the bench area, socially distanced on that sideline and around the back of the baseline for NC State. They tried the entry to Brooks. It was tapped away by Funderburk out of bounds. It'll stay with Miami. Tough luck for the Canes recently, Mike. Especially on Tuesday against North Carolina. We told you they lost by 2.
They've got two freshmen out on the floor starting, and they're missing two of their best scorers in Chris Likes, who actually did warm up with the team today, but won't play.
And Likes has only played in 2 games because of an ankle injury. Cross goes to the court trying to save it, but this is Thomas Allen trying to go one-on-one against Harlan Beverly. Has to back it out and crank up a 3-ball. Thomas Allen.
He was the primary break and the secondary break. Nobody picked him up in a transition, so he's all right, I'll knock the 3 down.
So Thomas Allen, who was tied for the lead on the team for NC State with 11 made threes, adds to that total 1 more, and he's got 12 for 28 on the season for Thomas Allen. It's a 10-0 run for NC State, Mike.
Yeah, with Moore and Allen, it's sounds like a law firm, but they substituted that backcourt in early on, and these guys seem a little more ready to play, which I was never a big fan as a player of noon starts. I mean, I liked it because you had the rest of the weekend off, but it took me a little while to get going in those early games.
Sure. But we're going to take them as we get them this season, Mike. As long as we've got an invitation to be in the building and there's a basketball and 2 teams, let's put it on television and have a game in the ACC.
And thanks to NC State, we have a fabulous position here courtside.
How about that shot? That's a fabulous attempt by Wong, who cans it on the baseline.
Yeah, and it's just a nice job of shooting the floater over Funderburk. He's only got 1 block on the year, so not the threat that Bates is out there.
So that's 4 points for Wong, who averages close to 17 per game to lead the way this season for Miami. Helms cut off. Funderburk does not get the bounce.
First shot attempt of the game for him.
That move just a little too quick by Anthony Walker in the 3rd turnover of the first half for Miami. Good chat with Coach Larinaga prior to the game.
Yeah, I told again that the circumstances that we're living under. It's the first time I've spoken to a coach on the phone in the same building as he is.
We could almost see him across the way.
Yeah, but thanks to him for spending some time. We did a Zoom call with Kevin Keats last night. But like you said, just I'm thrilled to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And he said, we're close, and the numbers support it. Last 3 games by a total of 5 points in those losses.
Well, and they didn't have Likes for any of them, and only had McGusty for 1. So, I mean, without their 2 best players, they're right there. Great block.
Going the other way for the Canes. Dan Gack has joined the party. Floater from Beverly, too strong. Bates over everybody. And a quick outlet there to Moore, going all the way. Follow Funderburk, bending that rim.
Yeah, see, Moore knew he had the follow help that time, so that missed layup was almost a pass in essence. But, you can take a shot knowing you have guys coming behind you.
Funderburk, 21 points, a team high in the loss to Clemson on Tuesday on this floor, 74-70 in overtime.
There's the push. You see, there's just the number situation, and they never really stopped the ball. Wong was on his hip the whole time, and just a wide open follow here. Good shot, good way to get into the offense for Funderburk.
What a great view from right behind the backboard, and you saw Funderburk elevate the redshirt senior, throwing it down. Gack. He went for the dunk.
I think Bates might have got a little bit of it from behind.
They put it up on the rim for Bates, and he slams it home. Cam Hayes served it up from Benny Bates.
I don't think Jim Larinaga didn't like the no call down the other end, but it looked like Gack had it, had the block shot a little bit, but that whole sequence, it really started the break. It looked like easy points. They're locked in on Wong on the double team and take their chances. There's that block from behind, and this is the end result. And how about getting the block, Tom, and running the floor and getting the finish at the other end? Number 15 doing it.
Perfect pass from Cam Hayes as well to set up Manny Bates. And that takes us right to our keys to the game, brought to you by your local Ford dealer with Mike Jaminski.
Yeah, let's take a look at what Miami wants to do in this game. And again, they're shorthanded, and you know, it's for them, they've been right there. It's just been an issue of finishing games where they've had turnovers in the last minute. And for NC State, when I talk about controlled tempo, they want to speed it up. They want this game going up and down at a very fast tempo, and then they want to pressure defensively, which they're doing right now.
So a shot of Chris Likes, still in the warm-up suit.
Yeah, it's like being led to the all-you-can-eat buffet lunch and not being able to eat. You got your plate, you're right there, and you can't go in.
Wong got the defender in the air. It's a sweet swooping move to the bucket from Earl Timberlake, the freshman.
Yeah, he really does a lot of things out on the floor. He plays some point. Great D out front.
And the jam at the other end after the steal, Harlan Beverly.
He will be with this offense now, he'll be the point guard out on the floor at 6'5", gives you really good length, and had that steal in the open floor. There's the look. This is just man on man. Fought his way over the screen well, and there's just nobody back to stop him.
Beverly just picked up that last foul for Miami. This is Allen through a couple of defenders. Traveling out of the corner, Sebron. And so the Canes take it back. 5th turnover of the first half for NC State, but the Pack has the 4-point advantage.
ACC Hoops is brought to you by the Works Landroid Robotic Lawnmower. Step into the future of lawn care and check mowing off your to-do list for good. Available at mylandroid.com. CPI Security. And Honda Dealers of the Carolinas.
Back in Raleigh for ACC basketball. The Canes have cut the lead to 4 inside of PNC Arena. 14-10, 11:53 to go. In our first half, our Honda Dealers of the Carolinas startup is Earl Timberlake. Just got his first bucket of the game for the freshman from Washington, D.C.
It's only his 5th game of the year, but against North Carolina had 5 rebounds, 5 blocks, 5 assists. And that's quite a spread, quite a stat line.
And Timberlake, double-figure scoring in his last 3 games, add 12 points to that stat line against Carolina in the losing effort. That right ankle injury kept him out for 5 games, but in the mix today for Miami. This is Cross, 3-pointer, and we've got a wedgie.
The atomic wedgie.
Up over the head, you mean?
Yeah, up over the head.
Got it. Cross with the wedgie. That's a hell ball, and it goes to Miami, yes.
That's when a wedgie benefits you.
That is
one of the few times.
Boy, that's a rarity. Wow. So the Canes have it on the arrow. After Cross's shot got wedged up there in the rim. Here's Wong attacking that rim and scoring.
The problem there, you can't give up the baseline. If you can lead it to, fine, but just Wong able to get in there and create some space.
Daniels, 3 hit the front rim. Helms preserving the possession. They go right back out to Hayes. He misses. Bates over top of everyone again. And there's a whistle and a foul on the play.
There it is, that baseline help, and just Cam Hayes goes flying by him. There's really not much you can do though, and defense, if you send them middle, you've got a chance of getting some help.
Olaniyi picked up the last personal for Miami. Transfer from Stony Brook, wearing number 4 in black, into the lineup. Moore, Helms hanging and scoring. Nice collaboration between that pair, and 5 points, Helms.
And a miscommunication defensively for Miami. He was wide open on that screen roll at the top of the key.
Helms is a double-digit scorer this season for NC State, averaging 12 per game, 5.5 boards, and shooting 45% from the floor.
See, and they've got Beverly. They're switching, but he's been on Timberlake. See if Timberlake can take him inside.
And he rattles off, and Helms grabbed it.
You can see NC State looking to push the ball on every missed shot.
Moore tried to get it to Helms. It'll bounce out of bounds and stay with NC State. Shaquille Moore, the freshman.
Really like his game. I saw these guys the second game of the year, and it seems like ages ago. But great motor for him, and just a great overall feel. Very athletic.
Going to hit the game-winning shot. The victory against Boston College this season for NC State. Back is 6-2 overall. Almost forced a turnover.
Well, you can see the respect for Bates right there. But he gets a pass, a nice take.
Olaniyi has the bucket, his first two. He averages over 8.6 points per game for Miami. So the lead is 2 for NC State. Moore dropped it low. Bates. His shot was blocked by Beverly.
Yeah. Here's the look in the take. He just a little too aggressive on the closeout there, and that let him get to his right hand. Here's the this is, you know, another thing. Beverly can get in there, block some shots as well. He's got some good size at 6'5".
So Timberlake picked up his second personal. And now Bates at the line, 71% on the season. Came into the game 10 of 14 from the stripe. Here comes Wong. Timberlake comes out with the 2 personal fouls. Bates out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. He's got 4 points after the free throws, and we've got 9:40 on the clock in the first half. Miami had a 10-point lead with 12 minutes left in regulation Tuesday at home against North Carolina. Could not hold on after trailing by 2 at halftime against the Tar Heels. That's a 3-pointer and good.
Olaniyi came in. Tom, he was 2 of 16 from 3 coming in before that. With a very confident stroke for him.
He's got 5 points now. Driving to the rim and scoring, Shaquille Moore. 4 points.
Just so explosive. It's, again, you want to try to limit his right hand, but that was a powerful move.
7 points, 10 boards, a season high in the loss against Clemson for Shaquille Moore. His season high scoring is 17 points against North Carolina. And he's seen action in every game this year. Brooks. Bruising move past Bates. Couldn't finish it off with free throws.
That's a big foul, too. That's 2 on Manny Bates. And, again, we talked about them trying to get that pressure on him, and Bates is going to have to come out of the game right now. And that's a big hit defensively for NC State.
So Brooks at the line, 57% of the season. While we have a moment, get a word from Continental Tire.
You're made to move. Continental Tire. For what you do.
This is the 107th career game for Nasir Brooks. First year in the program with plenty of experience for number 3 in black, orange, and green this afternoon for Miami.
That's the thing, you know, it's not always seamless for these guys. Yeah, they've played against big-time competition. Another turnover for NC State. But in regards to Brooks, that, you know, it's a new system, new calls, new language, you know, everything. And it's going to take them a while to settle in, plus the lack of practice time.
NC State working on a 3-game winning streak in the series, and that one anticipated and stolen by Moore. He'll run it up. Brooks got back defensively to stop the progress of Moore. Funderburk inside. He got bumped. Cross was in the vicinity. Olaniyi also there for Miami. We've got a 2-point game in the first half from Raleigh. Jericho Helms, a big factor so far for NC State. Mike, he's our hearty star to watch.
Nice spot up that time, coming off the behind the back pass. Good cut in there, and Wolfpack sharing the love.
And so far today for Helms, 5 points. He averages 12 per game as our Hardys start a watch. Limited production, Mike, in that most recent game against Clemson. Just 8 points, 6 boards in 28 minutes for Helms, but he has gotten to double digits 4 times this season.
And, you know, it's really interesting looking at his games and the breakdown. In 4 games this year, he's averaged 18 points per. In the other 4 games, he's averaged 6 points a game. So it's a little bit of all or nothing with him.
Junior from St. Louis, Missouri. 2-point game, 7:57 to go in our first half. Tom Wormy, Mike Jaminski, our outstanding ACC College Hoops production crew with you from PNC Arena. 21st year of this facility, and the Pack playing its home games on this floor. NC State won both meetings between the teams last season. That shot a little bit short, and Wong will wrestle it away from Funderburk. And did he pick up a personal?
Yes, he did. And those are the ones you have to avoid. It's his first foul, but with Bates already with 2, the Funderburk got to be a little bit careful in the rest of this half. But you don't want to pick up a foul, Tom, in that situation. You know, Wong had the ball. Just run back and get set defensively.
Pressure from the Pack. Miami's made 5 of its last 6 field goal attempts. Canes improving rapidly after that slow start. As a team, 43% of the season for the Canes, 13th in the conference, and Moore has it on the turnover, the 5th of the first half for Miami. Moore, back iron, and Wong tapped away. Looks like Helms got a piece, Mike.
Yep, no, came from behind, nobody talking, and then the breakdown the other end. You know, this is the way somehow you got to let this guy know there's somebody coming from behind, and then beautiful job by Helms just getting that flick out.
So that'll put Funderburk at the free throw line. Told you he had 21 points against Clemson. The game prior to that against BC also had 21. So back-to-back games with 21 points for Funderburk at the line. 90% as a free throw shooter, and up to 3 points.
And just in the ACC, 72% field goal shooting, so almost automatic when he touches the ball.
Transfer from Ohio State, the redshirt senior DJ Funderburk, and now 4 points, and that is the lead for NC State in the first half, about to cross the 7-minute threshold.
First year that Kevin Keats hasn't taken anybody as a transfer or from the junior college or in the transfer portal. He's got 5 freshmen that he signed.
Beverly being chased by Helms. Determined to get to the basket. Good defense as NC State collapsed.
That was really close to 3 seconds.
Shot clock is down to 3. Cross lets it fly and hits that 3 ball from the corner pocket.
Yeah, that's a great possession for Miami because they used the whole 30 seconds on the shot clock and come up with a 3. They want to, where NC State wants to run because of injuries, Miami's got to be a little bit more deliberate.
First points of the game for Cross. That one knocked away and stolen. 8th turnover NC State. Here comes Wong. Almost had it taken away by Thomas Allen. Now Wong charging to the rim, and a whistle stops play. So Matt Cross with his 14th made 3 of the season, wide open in the corner.
You see the drive. There are 4 white shirts around him, and it's a nice job by Cross just replacing behind the drive and getting a good look at the 3.
He wears 33 for a reason, Mike. The 33 of Larry Bird, because Cross is a Massachusetts native. So Larry Bird with those incredible years with the Boston Celtics, especially in the 80s, where Larry was the 3-time MVP.
3-time champion.
Yep. 81, 84, 86. This is Daniels at the other end, elevating, and the ball goes out of bounds.
And you could argue, too, that Final Four between Indiana State and Michigan State with Magic was really the blossoming of the Final Four as an event. And college basketball took off from there.
Yep, 1979. And I bet you if you asked Larry Bird to this day, he would say he certainly did not have his best performance against Michigan State in that title game. Made up for it, though, and then they met in the NBA.
They had a few tussles.
Championship battles. And here we are today in 2021, thankfully. Mike?
Yeah. I mean, everything isn't going to magically go away.
No.
But you just want the karma of, 2020. This is actually, it's new for these teams. This is the first time that in the regular season they've had to play with COVID or not play.
Beverly tried the circus shot. Lonnie, offensive glass, got a defender in the air, poked away Helms and Daniels. They do not have the numerical advantage, although they try to get to the rim with Thomas Allen.
See, he knew he had Cross on him, and that's a nice recognition on his part, the ability to drive him.
So traveling violation, ninth turnover.
Yeah, we got the little quick out of the starter's block.
So Miami's done well to hang tough here with NC State. As Mike mentioned, two big names not available today. Chris Likes with the ankle injury, and Cam McGusty, who's got a hamstring injury, suffered in the game against Florida Gulf Coast. Just an awkward step, really, for McGusty. Cross cut off by Funderburk. Shot clock inside of 10. A lot of dribbling from long.
Yep, too much.
Gack. Olani went up to get it. He hit the court hard. And the whistle goes against NC State.
He's giving them great energy off the bench coming into this game. He's knocked down a couple shots and getting on the offensive glass. But to your point, I think that Isaiah Wong, they need to pass the ball. I know that they're a little leery of the ability for NC State to make steals, but over dribbling can hurt you as well.
Olani seeing action in his 6th game this season. He's got a lot of experience too, Mike. This is his 92nd career game as a senior in this Miami program. Cross, the fall away. Tried to imitate Larry Bird on that shot. Allen. How did that one bounce in? Calculate those physics, Mike.
That's could be summed up, and that was a home bounce.
Very soft PNC Arena bounce.
Yeah, let's see if Miami gets one of those in this arena. I don't think so.
NC State hadn't hit a field goal in over 9 minutes for that fortunate bounce. It's going to be a foul against Hayes for NC State. Let's take a timeout. 4-point game.
ACC Hoops is brought to you by the Works Landroid Robotic Lawnmower. Step into the future of lawn care and check mowing off your to-do list for good. Available at mylandroid.com.
Well, Chris Likes has been out of the lineup for Miami. He's only played 2 games with that ankle injury he suffered earlier in the season. The good thing I see from Likes, Mike, is during the timeout, he's out there trying to encourage his teammates and offer some advice and wisdom and trying to stay involved.
Yeah, and for him, the leadership is important, and it's not, when he gets back to playing, they're going to be used to seeing him in the huddle like that. He was Jim Larinaga told us before the game, he said, I was expecting to have 5 starters back this year and get out of the blocks quickly, but injuries have really played a huge role.
This is Allen. Might have been deflected. Funderburk tries to save it, but right to Beverly for Miami. Don't forget, Likes was the 3rd leading scorer in the ACC last season, over 16 points per game. But once again on the bench. Did go through warm-ups with the Canes, so some positive signs there. Cross, catch and release, and it's a 3 for Cross.
He had Funderburk chasing him, but he could not catch up to Cross. He has been moving without the ball extremely well, Tom.
So that's another 3 for Cross, who helps out defensively. Helms gets it in the corner. Inside of 3 minutes to go in the first half. 3-point miss on the shot from Sebron.
A little bit of a force that time. Hasn't taken many threes on the year, and still a lot of time. There's about 18 seconds left on the shot clock.
Sebron had only been 2 for 4.
That double dribble
From deep prior to that miss. It'll be a turnover against the Canes. Cross stepping back here, Mike, well beyond 22 feet 1 3/4 inches.
Yep, and shows great range, and he really, early on in the game, Tom, never really hunted his offense, but he's really let it come to him and knocked down a couple threes.
Helms against 2 defenders.
Nice defense by Cross that time, staying in front of Helms.
It's going to be Brooks, Mike, as Funderburk. And Brooks got tangled up. Second on Brooks. And free throw attempt upcoming here in the bonus.
And Dengak will come in for the rest of the half.
Dengak from Sydney, Australia. Played his prep ball at Blair Academy in New Jersey for the redshirt junior. 5 points now for Funderburk. He's from Cleveland, Ohio. Played at Hargrave Military Academy.
Coach Kevin Keats has really strong ties to Hargrave.
Coach Keats was at that academy in Chatham, Virginia for 10 years. Yep. Won a couple of national championships.
You had a feeling there'll be somebody from there on this lineup during his tenure.
Beverly, wicked crossover, couldn't finish it off, and then a foul was called against Helms in the aftermath, and that's the second on Helms.
We talk about size. Beverly's got great size too at 6'5", and he's a guy, Tom, that on a given night could have a triple-double. This is a guy who had a 10-rebound game earlier this year. He can score, and 6 assists is his highest, but he's capable of having a big stat line.
So Shaquille Moore comes back in the lineup for NC State with Harlan Beverly at the free throw line. Helms out, 2 personal fouls along with Bates and Daniels. They all have 2 personals. And Beverly at the line from Detroit, Michigan, like just 41% of the season from the stripe.
But he had 20 points in the game last year against NC State, so he likes playing against the Wolfpack.
Double-double in the first game of the season for Beverly against North Florida. 11 points, 11 boards. Coming off the bench in that one. NC State just 1 of its last 8. In the last 9 minutes and change, and that's the answer from Cam Hayes.
Now he's a guy he doesn't take a ton of threes, but has a solid mid-range game.
First points of the game for Cam Hayes. Shoots a strong percentage from the floor, 54%, and averages over 8 points per game. Keeping a close eye on Cross. He's got a couple of threes. Thought about a 15-footer, knocked away to Funderburk. Taken right back by Wong. 11 turnovers for the Pack. Wong, Euro, stepping his way to the basket.
That was some transition that he had his head on a swivel defensively, came up with the steal, and then multiple moves in the lane. This was something. There's the great pick right there, and then the spin. Going right by Funderburk, drawing the contact as well. Outstanding move.
Playing with flair and style. Isaiah Wong completes the old school 3-point play. And now you've got Funderburk, Helms, Bates, and Daniels, all with 2 personal fouls in his first half, Mike, for NC State. We're tied at 29. In fact, Miami hasn't led since it was 4-2 early in this half.
They're forced to go to Jalen Gibson here early because of that foul trouble.
Moore had to kick it out. Hayes wants the 3 ball, and he hits it.
Not bad. I mean, 38% coming in on the year from the 3. And was able to catch that in rhythm. Had a terrific look.
First 3 of the game for Hayes. He's got 5 points. Final 44 seconds of our first half. Canes with the basketball and trailing.
You know, Tom, I will say just the pace of the scoring, it's been pretty up and down, and especially for NC State. But this scoring pace, I think, favors Miami. This is about where they want to keep it, in the mid-60s, maybe high 60s.
Wong is back at the line. Miami 44% shooting as a team. NC State 41% in this first half. Isaiah Wong, a couple of free throws and 11 points. Double digits for the sophomore for the 9th time this season. Kevin Keats wants to take a timeout with 34.2 seconds to go on the clock, and the free throws from Wong have closed the gap to 1. You're right about that scoring, Mike. If you look at the numbers for NC State, they average almost 80 points per game, which is 3rd in the conference, but so far just 32 in the first half.
Yeah, and it's like I said, Miami's been opportunistic. They've been getting out and pushing the ball. We saw that last move by Isaiah Wong to get the 3-point opportunity.
NC State is led by as many as 8. Wong is a double-digit scorer in the first half.
And I think for the most part, Miami's transition defense has been pretty good. I mean, there have been a couple of turnovers out front that have led to baskets. But I mean, you never want to get used to it. But I think these guys now, this is basically their 4th game in conference without Lights and without McGusty. So I think they may be settling into a rhythm with those guys.
NC State 2-1 in conference play.
Zone look by Miami coming out of that timeout.
The wins in conference for NC State against North Carolina and Boston College. The lone loss was on Tuesday on this floor against Clemson in overtime. Try to get it down low, and that one ends up out of bounds. So back to Miami, 16.8 on the clock and 12 turnovers in the first half. NC State.
Still plenty of time for Miami in the half court.
Seconds for Wong. Three-pointer. Too strong and well defended. So the halftime lead belongs to NC State, despite Wong with his 11 points in the first half to lead the way for Miami. In fact, he's the only player in our game to get to double digits in scoring in the first half. NC State led by as many as 8. Miami coming back without Chris Lights, cutting the lead to 1. Halftime is straight ahead from PNC Arena and Raleigh, North Carolina. This is ACC basketball. Welcome to your local Toyota dealer halftime report inside PNC Arena. 32-31. The Wolfpack with a 1-point lead against the Miami Hurricanes, and Matt Cross with a couple of threes in the first half. G-Man
really didn't force the action much early on in that half, but had a couple of great looks from 3. And I think in the second half, he may be a little bit more aggressive with his shot, Tom.
So that's now 15 made threes on the season for Matt Cross, for the freshman from Beverly, Massachusetts. Shoots 46% from beyond the arc. They're going to need him in the second half, and trailing by just 1 on the Toyota halftime report. We'll come back to Raleigh in just a sec. We welcome you back to your local Toyota dealer halftime report. Tight ball game, 32-31. The Wolfpack with a 1-point advantage at halftime on its home floor. Isaiah Wong, only player to get to double digits in scoring in the first half.
Right, this is a strength to mid-range game. Anything inside the arc, 57% from the floor, can finish at the rim. Great take here in the open court. And he's a guy you definitely have to try to keep in front of you at all times.
Thomas Allen, 8 points and a couple of threes in the first half, running the floor for the Pack, Mike.
Yeah, and again, he's shown the versatility. He can step out and knock down threes. 41% for him. Doesn't get to the line a whole lot, but got a very kind bounce on that shot. I think the big thing, Tom, for NC State, those 12 turnovers, a lot of them were not forced defensively.
13 threes now on the season for Thomas Allen to lead the club. Both teams shooting over 40% of the first half. And we thank you for watching your local Toyota dealer halftime report.
ACC Hoops is brought to you by The Fresh Market. Discover the best today. Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. And Coyote Tractor. We dig dirt.
NC State 5-0 on its home floor this season. 6-2 with the halftime lead. They've got it by a point. But they're looking for some production and offensive traction from Devin Daniels, their leading scorer. Just 2 points in the first half, Mike.
And only took 4 shots, 1 of 4 from the field. And I want to see if Miami, if they go back to Brooks early in this half to try to get that 3rd foul on Manny Bates to get him out of the game. He got a lot of touches early in the first half.
Daniels, a redshirt junior from Battle Creek, Michigan. Transfer from Utah. NC State will have possession to start the second half as Helms will put it in play.
One thing, for Bates, he's got to be a little careful and not overly aggressive on the offensive glass either to pick up a foul there.
A couple of blocked shots in that first half as well for Bates. Try to go low in traffic, and Bates elevates and jams it.
Yeah, that's a play you probably wouldn't have seen last year. Really has expanded his game. Good seal and good pass from the high post.
The 32 points allowed by Miami in the first half. That's a 3rd straight game, but they've allowed 32 points in the first half to their opponents. Previous 2 have been losses. Brooks lost it on the way up, out of bounds, but off of NC State. There's 6 on the shot clock for the Canes.
And and Timberlake has got Beverly on him, and that's a size mismatch. He's trying to call for the ball right now.
There's Timberlake. He eases that one off the backboard.
Yeah, that's a great find by Miami to see that mismatch on the underneath out of bounds.
4 points for the freshman Timberlake. He also missed 5 games with a right ankle injury. Beverly hooks that pass into Bates. Score it! And the foul.
Strong. And that thing, I think you have to make Beverly a finisher in that play. And he drew the defense. And that time, Nasir Brooks was out of position, and a terrific finish by Manny Bates.
So Timberlake with his 3rd personal. Coming up, we'll be taking a look at our Ford fast break, so stay tuned for that. Here from Raleigh. Bates unable to finish off the 3-point play. And the lead is 3. Opening moments of our second half. Tom Wormy, Mike Jaminski, and our incredible, talented, outstanding ACC basketball production crew. They put in very long hours before and after the game to make sure you can watch your favorite teams in the ACC. That was Timberlake on the drive, whistle and foul, according to Jerry Heater.
Yeah, for people out in the for people watching this, our crew gets here at 5:30 in the morning for a noon game. So kudos for them. Sun wasn't even up yet, and here we are in the air.
Timberlake at the line. Quick word now from Works Landroid Robotic Lawnmower.
Works Landroid Robotic Lawnmower. Available at mylandroid.com. The future of lawn care is here.
And Tom, that's a great invention, but I don't want the robotic color analyst to come along for a while.
No.
At least wait for me to retire.
Going to be a long time before we see that. Swooping in Hayes. Wong trying to tiptoe on the end line and kept it alive. 11 points in the first half. Isaiah Wong wanted to add to the total and challenged Bates and Helms. They were both there. Who's got the foul? It's going to be Helms in his 3rd, Mike.
Yeah, we talked about his lack of scoring, and he's going to have to come out of the game, I think. But this is when you get Isaiah Wong running downhill or dribbling downhill like that, he is a load to handle, even when you have a shot blocker like Manny Bates behind it. And Bates is he could cut his hand on that trying to go after the play. See it right there. Great camera work.
Yeah, some medical attention there. As Wong is at the free throw line.
And then years past, he would have had to come out of the game to get that done, but the referees now give you some latitude to go over and get it patched up.
Great work by the training and medical staff for NC State. Miami hasn't won here in Raleigh since January of 2018. They won at 86-81. And now 12 points for Wong. One more free throw. For the first time this afternoon, we are tied.
It was 0-0.
No, that's true. Good point.
I don't want to nitpick, but, you know.
Where is that?
We'll leave that alone.
Where is that automated analyst? Bring that person in right now. That robot. Hayes for three. Braxton Beverly able to grab it. And Wong was in the fray and picks up his first personal foul. Only scheduled meeting between the teams this season. Although you've seen all the changes in the schedules. In fact, today, 4 games being played and 3 postponed, and then the Clemson program on pause.
Yeah, and we talked to Kevin Keats, and NC State was the last team to play Clemson. And, you know, you never know when that phone call is going to come. But fortunately, this game underway.
Hayes misses deep into the shot clock. Pelham's tried to save it. Wong ended up with it.
Like, give Gabe great effort trying to get the ball.
Look at Wong knife his way through and thread his way to the basket for 2. And 14 points, Isaiah Wong.
You know, I don't think any one person can stop him like that. You've got to have some help and somebody pinch in to make him pick up the dribble. But he is dynamic.
I mean, that was the definition of a one-man fast break. Did not have the numerical advantage, but determined to get to the rim and scoring. And giving Miami the 2-point lead. Remember, they led 4-2 early in the first half. Trailed by 1 at halftime. Timberlake stumbles down. Able to get that pass to Brooks. He fumbled it away. Got it back. And a timeout.
See, you know.
So, Mike, we're going to take a timeout. 16:57 to go in this second half. And the Hurricanes lead the Wolfpack 38-36. Time to take a look at our fast break, brought to you by your local Ford dealers, originating from Raleigh, North Carolina and PNC Arena. As we go around the league in the ACC, Duke trying to extend its home winning streak against Wake Forest to 22 games, Mike.
And, you know, of course, Wake Forest, the last time they won, had a guy named Duncan and a guy named Childress who were playing, so no surprise there. And Mike Krzyzewski back on the bench for Duke in that game.
So the rest of the schedule there, you see the Louisville Cardinals and the Cavaliers and the Blue Devils, all with those undefeated conference records. It's very early. There's a lot of changes, a lot of adjustments being made, and all the credit to these institutions in the ACC to make sure that we're having a season right now in the ACC.
Yeah, there's no, you know, there's going to be juggling and games being played that weren't necessarily scheduled, but trying to piece it all together a little bit more difficult than football.
Hopefully we get there to Greensboro, North Carolina. We have every reason to believe we can in the second week of March. And look at this, Mike, the entire tournament in the Indianapolis area.
Kind of fitting. I mean, their high school tournament has been legend for a long, long time. And, you know, I think the NCAA taking a page out of what the NBA did and forming a bubble over the whole state of Indiana.
And it will culminate at Lucas Oil Stadium with a Final Four in early April in the entire tournament in the Indianapolis area for 2021 in the NCAA Final Four. And we thank you for watching the Ford Fast Break.
Tom, we talked to Kevin Keats about the tournament being played in Indiana. He was all for it, and as I really haven't heard any negative talk about it. And on that last possession, though, I'm not a big fan of a timeout in that situation. I think keeping a timeout is more important than getting possession. Miami down to 2 timeouts now for the rest of the half. You know, first half it's fine because you have that giveaway timeout. Second half, I'd rather keep it.
Isaiah Wong has 9 of the last 12 Miami points, and they forged ahead by 2. And that's Timberlake inside, an easy 2.
Whenever he's had an undersized guard on him, which is most of the guards for NC State, they've run him into the low block, and he's gotten some good looks.
NC State has missed its last 4 field goal opportunities, and Miami working on the run out in front by 4. Daniels. Canes have their largest lead of the afternoon, and the shot clock's at 10 for NC State. Knocked away from Shaquille Moore. Here's Wong. Beverly. Drew the defenders, tapped away by the quick hands of Daniels, but he gets whistled for the foul as Bill Covington was right there to make the call, and that's the 3rd on Daniels.
And very quickly, the fouls are starting to pile up on the Wolfpack.
So he's got more fouls than he has points right now, Mike.
Again, and he's guarding Timberlake, and let's see if he can, you know, they force the action to him. They got a number of guys they can attack.
And those numbers for Daniels a tad askew. We told you about his scoring prowess, but he's been limited. And once again, it bears repeating, Miami without 2 of its best players in McGusty and Likes. Luckily, they have Wong, who misfires there, and Brooks is unable to save it. So a timeout on the court. The Canes have taken the lead in the second half. This is ACC basketball. Miami with a 4-point lead, its largest of the afternoon on the road against NC State. Takes us right to our Coyote Tractor turning point. This is the injury for Bates, Mike, when he cut the hand.
They got that left hand hung up right in the palm, and quick little pit stop there to get it wrapped up. And they got that. It was a thick bandage. They've reapplied a darker bandage on it right now, a little bit more manageable. And he's got stuff on both of his hands.
Since that point, the 5-0 run for the Canes, their largest lead of the game right now at 4. And NC State has gone about 3 minutes without a field goal as they've got possession.
They had a little drought in the first half as well.
It's the second road game of the season, true road game for Miami. They're 0-1 away from Coral Gables. And that was a loss at Virginia Tech by 2. In fact, that started the run of the close losses. They lost at Virginia Tech by 2, Mike. They lost to Clemson at home by 1, and then by 2 to North Carolina on Tuesday.
And an argument could be made that the Wolfpack were in position to beat Clemson in that game.
No question about it. If you look at the numbers from that game, Mike, they led for over 35 minutes in the game against the Tigers. And they shot it well, 43%. Timberlake bounces off to Bates. In fact, NC State led by 7 at halftime against the Tigers in a game that featured 6 ties and 6 lead changes and went to overtime before Clemson won it. Bates back on his way down. Walker hit the deck, and the foul coming up.
Yeah, Walker tried to buy a foul that time and almost looked like a flop. There are multiple. The thing is, and for Manny Bates, he never did lower the shoulder or throw the elbow out, which is why I think he got the call.
Ron Groover, Bill Covington, Jerry Heater. Officials more for 3. Weak side, Wong, who seems to be everywhere on the court. And Wong now has 6 rebounds to go along with his 15 points and 5 of 10 from the floor.
We talk about a motor. I mean, he is just constant motion out on the floor, both ends of the court.
Never seems to get tired, challenging the big man Funderburk. Back out to Beverly. It's offline. Brooks had it for a moment, couldn't hang on.
Just didn't have the balance to get the ball under control.
We saw Thomas Allen hit a couple of threes in the first half, Mike.
Wong is really chasing him, who had fought over the screen. But there on the switch that time, he gets a good look.
11 points for Allen.
He can see they're really pushing up on the guards, but you know, Brooks can receive anytime he wants in the backcourt. They want him to handle as much as possible.
So Thomas Allen has made 3 3-point baskets. He went 0 for 3 on 3-point shots against Clemson. Only had 2 points earlier this week of the OT loss. It's the Beverly wearing the Miami uniform missing. Scrap on the end line. It's going to stay with Miami.
Yeah, that was a bailout play. A little bit of a force that time by Beverly. Got caught with no dribble in the paint.
26th all-time meeting. Miami and NC State. Timberlake on the block.
Got Thunderberg on a switch. Wow. Well, you know, to his credit, Thunderberg didn't let him drive, but Isaiah Wong knew that he had a shot there if he wanted. He just drove him in with that hard dribble.
So Wong making his first 3 of the game. He's up to 18 points to lead everybody. Allen, the only double-digit scorer for NC State with 11. He's got 3 made threes. This is Bates on the spin right into the double team, but creating contact against Walker and Brooks.
Here we go. Here's the look. See a switch right there. That Thunderberg really on an island, and you know you got to give up something in that situation. And Wong just hit a tough shot, and then down the other end. And this is the respect Manny Bates is starting to get. It's a late double team. They're not coming on the catch, but on a couple dribbles, they're doubling big with Walker.
So Bates, who came in 71%, 10 of 14 from the line. He's got 8 points, but he's missed a couple of free throws recently, although that one looking a lot better. And 9 points for Bates.
Really impressed with the work he's put in on his offensive game.
Bates now 3 of 5 from the line at the other end. Olani going all the way in.
And that's something that NC State has not done on a number of occasions, is stop the dribble on that fast break. He just carried it the length of the floor.
7 points for him. Daniels just can't get in the offensive flow.
It's tough. You're thinking about fouls and you're pressing a little bit. It's not a natural rhythm.
Allen got his miss back, hit the front rim on successive tries, and Brooks owns the rebound. 5-point lead, Miami. And it is the largest for the Canes this afternoon. Bearing down on the 12-minute mark. Isaiah Wong looks over at Jim Larinaga for instruction.
With this lead, they're really looking to milk the clock down, and they got that switch again.
Angular rebound to Allen. Wants to run it up. Waits for Daniels. Tried to drop it low to Thunderberg, and they could not collaborate.
And that's, again, that's a pass, Tom. That wasn't defense. That it was just thrown. It was not executed well and kicked out of bounds. Turnovers in the game for NC State. Although Moore almost took it away from Wong and did as he got it to Allen. You got to try to receive the ball in the middle of the floor. Wong got caught up in the corner.
Daniels ran into a roadblock. Helms trying to bail him out. Timberlake. Bit of a wild drive. Lost the handle out of bounds. It'll stay with NC State. Olani going all the way, and the distance for the layup. And Miami's got the lead in the second half. The Hurricanes have built a 5-point lead with 11:44 to go in the second half on the strength of 18 big points from Isaiah Wong.
Yeah, he's really carrying. He's the only player for either team in double figures right now, and about to get into the 20 range. But he's You know, he hasn't just been a scorer in this game. He's been doing it both ends of the floor.
And look at the guys on the other side, Mike, who we expected offensive production from. Just 8 combined, Daniels and Funderburk.
Yeah, only combined 2 of 7, so they've combined only 7 shots, and that may be a function of the 16 turnovers that NC State has at this point.
So Wong has already gotten to 20 points or more, Mike, 4 times this season. He did it 3 games in a row against Florida Gulf Coast, Pitt, and Jacksonville.
Well, because of injuries last year, he really took off once he got into the starting lineup and has not looked back.
Trying to get it to Gak. And the ball goes out of bounds.
Just jumped a little early. I think he wasn't expecting the full-on lob that time.
So that's 10 turnovers for Miami. Braxton Beverly in there. Beverly has not scored in the game. Funderburk off the pass, and he's able to spin it in.
Might have gotten away with the travel on that play, but no call, no problem. And there was also no help on that play from the weak side in that pick and roll.
8 points for Funderburk. Walker.
Offensive foul.
Oh, yeah. Trying to muscle his way in against Daniels. 3rd on Walker.
Well, here's the look. Let's take a look. No dribble, really. 1, 2, 3, a cast of thousands, but no call. If it doesn't look like a travel,
it's not a lie, Mike.
Yeah,
if you believe it.
That's right.
Okay,
there you go.
We'll go with it, 45-42, but I have a feeling we have to buckle up for the final 10:55 of this one, because it's going to be tight down the stretch, and that's really been the theme. We touched upon that at the top of the broadcast. These games, not only do they play close games against one another, but they've played a lot of close games this season.
Especially for Miami, they've had some miscues in that last minute. Would have really cost them.
Exactly what Coach Larinaga referenced. That's Daniels. He beats everybody to the goal. 4 points, 1 point game.
Now we've got full-on pressure by Kevin Keats on the made basket. 5 guys up pressuring the basketball.
Interestingly, Mike, this is probably the moment where the crowd would be involved for NC State, trying to make this little comeback here, but we don't have that. We just have limited fans today.
And that's, you know, in the league so far, only 59% of the wins have been at home. So that home court advantage not there without the fans, students.
Daniels comes away with it. Open 3. And miss from Allen. Run down to the corner, Helms. Daniels against the bigger Gak. Daniels with a bucket. And NC State back out in front by 1. 6 points for Daniels.
And that's a move that any post player would be proud of. Got the dribble going one way, coming back a little half hook. Very impressive.
Funny how we showed the lack of productivity from those 2 players, Daniels and Funderburk, when they've been part of the offense in the last few trips, as Braxton Beverly hustles back and taps that one away.
Well, Tom, given how quiet it is in here, they probably heard you and took offense to that graphic.
I did see them
glance over.
Shoot me the stink eye. Yeah, so maybe it was the evil eye. Whatever it was, it's working right now for NC State. And they have recaptured the lead, 46-45, after leading by this same margin at halftime, 32-31. Lonnie tried to thread it to Gak. It's out of bounds.
See, again, it's a casual one-hand pass that Gak maybe not expecting, which you should have on the pick and roll, but still, I mean, that was just a careless error.
Turnover number 12 in the game for Miami. NC State with the basketball in the white, Miami in the traveling black. NC State 5-0 on its home court, 2-0 in conference play here at the PNC Arena. Beverly lost the handle.
And that was Harlan Beverly with a solid defense.
So NC State now has 17 turnovers. Miami turned over North Carolina frequently. 20 turnovers by the Heels led to 19 points for Miami, but they came up short by 2 on Tuesday in Coral Gables against the Heels.
I think Miami tries to do that on the entry pass. They tried to throw it a little bit farther up the court, so he didn't have to dribble 94 feet.
Beverly down the lane. Funderburk the block. In transition, Daniel steps around the defender. Funderburk with the
half, and it was a little bit of a questionable take. However, he knew he had rebounding behind him.
It's an 8-0 run for NC State. Funderburk is into double digits.
Yeah, that's it. You don't want your big man out like that with a live dribble. There's the block, and he just takes it right into Funderburk with his offhand. And then here's the look. Only one dark jersey back.
10 points now for Funderburk. DJ Funderburk, a little bit below his season average of 13.2 per game, and both teams right now shooting 41% in this half. And the score reflects that with a 3-point lead. That's a foul on Carlin Beverly.
You know, last year NC State had 4 guys average over double figures, and I think with this team, they may replicate that again, if not have a 5th guy. I mean, they've got guys right around that 8-point mark right in there, and as balanced a scoring team as they are, wouldn't shock me.
So Beverly to the line for the first time today. Just his 11th free throw of the season for Braxton Beverly, now 6 of 11.
I mean, he's an excellent shooter and was 5 of 10 in those first tries. So
I mean, Mike, don't forget he's just 3 threes away from 200 for his career.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that, he's not going to beat you off the dribble going to the rim. He's going to be a standstill jump shooter.
And also out of Hargrave Military Academy in Virginia. So the lead is 4. We're inside of 8 minutes to go. Helms and Wong collide. The whistle will sort it out when we come back to Raleigh.
ACC Hoops is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina. We resolve to help North Carolina stay healthy. Your local Ford dealer. And Continental Tire for what you do.
Inside PNC Arena, where the Wolfpack wins 71% of their contests against their opposition inside this facility. They've got the lead. 49-45. And another tight tussle for these teams. Miami in the black uniforms with the ball. Trying to snap a 3-game losing streak in the series. Shot clock inside of 10 for Wong. Cross lines up for 3, came up short.
See, that time, when Gak sets the screen, they're not even worried about him on the roll. They're staying right with Wong. They double-teamed him in essence, and you got to get a different guy to set that screen, so they have to respect him as well.
Miami hasn't made a field goal since the 13:06 mark of this second half. They're 0 for 4 from the floor in that span. NC State on a 9-0 run. Beverly lofts it up there on the runner, got it back.
It's good initial defense, but you have to clean it up with the defensive rebound.
Funderburk over Gak.
Gak, nice job defensively that time, keeping him away from the rim and kept verticality. So look, I mean, you got right now that Bates is just shadowing him.
So Wong got fouled by Thomas Allen. That's his first.
His first, that's a 15 foul.
5 for 5 from the line for Wong. 78% of the season. More ACC hoops after this word from Coyote Tractor.
Not a single tractor ever been built that's better equipped to do the dirty work. Coyote, we dig dirt.
First miss from the stripe in the game for Isaiah Wong.
And he's by far leading in free throw attempts on the year for Miami, and it comes up empty on that possession.
Remember Wong from last year, Mike, their game at Virginia Tech, where he went for 27 points in the triple overtime victory. Lost by 2 at Virginia Tech this season.
seems like every game we talk any loss, but Miami, it's been under 5 points.
Exactly right. Daniels amongst 3 defenders. How did he do it? I think he wanted to foul as well, Mike. Both hands in the air for Daniels out to the bucket.
Well, that's both ends of the floor. NC State getting some, bounced on the rim 3 times and then dropping down.
Yeah, for the Allen 3. And now Daniels is up to 8 points. It's an 11-0 run, NC State. They're up by 6. Pack is led by as many as 8. Brooks.
A nice job just sitting on that left shoulder, and he wouldn't turn the opposite way.
Daniels. Wong.
That's goaltend.
Thunderbird got a piece of it, scored the bucket for Wong. And he's now got 20 points, Mike. That's the 5th time this season he's gone for 20 or more.
And anytime either of these teams have looked like they're going to go on an extended run, the other team has had an answer, and that was a good answer by Miami.
Beverly on the handle, guarded by Beverly. Behind the back dribble, trying to get to the basket, got the defenders in the air, and Brooks recovered and blocked it to the outlet to Beverly. And that's knocked away by a hustling Thomas Allen. What a sequence, Mike.
Beverly in there again, that pump fake that everybody went at, that nobody had to jump at. They could block it standing still.
I saw you even jump up here at the broadcast table, Mike.
Yeah.
You went for the fake. Hold your ground. Stay home. Stay home.
Yeah, he stopped short on that drive.
He did. That's his move. Here's Wong. He's put his moves on display today. Fun player to watch. And he puts it over Thunderbird. Whistle after the shot by Wong. And that foul is on Thomas Allen. Second. Quick discussion on the sideline in the socially distanced bench area for Braxton Beverly. Timberlake hustles back for it. Daniels is an active defender. Beverly. Cross. Got it.
Hey, he does such a nice job. Again, he's been unselfish, not really looking for a shot, but he's found openings in this game.
3 threes and 9 points. Matt Cross, the freshman from Beverly, Massachusetts. Shaquille Moore to the elbow and retreating. Shot clock at 10, game clock at 4:20. Daniels got it away for 3. Devin Daniels. And it's a 4-point NC State lead. He's got 11. The Pack up by 4. 4:13 to go in regulation in Raleigh. With the Pack up by 4 and just over 4 minutes to go, Devin Daniels taking it up a notch in the second half with 9 points in this second half, Mike.
And, and really good players don't let one half affect them, and he's kind of shed the first 20 minutes and really has come out and been aggressive offensively. Kind of coincided when we put that graphic up on the
didn't it though?
With both him and Thunderbird. Now they're both in double figures.
Thunderbird's got a double-double, second of his career, first of the season. And Daniels has 9 of the last 12 points. And you see the close games for Miami. Look at the bottom line. They're just the second team in ACC history to lose 3 straight by a total of 5. And what did that Georgia Tech team do in 1990, Mike?
Yeah, went final.
All the way to the Final Four for Bobby Crimmins.
Yeah,
interesting.
I'm sure Bobby was going to send us a text. Why did we bury him on the air?
And we took him all the way to the Final Four, despite those 3 losses by combined 5 points. Brooks is backing down over Bates, and he got it. 2-point game.
Bates just, that time, kind of laid off. Again, he's played this whole half without getting that 3rd foul. I think now he can start to be pretty aggressive.
3.5 minutes to go in regulation. This is Bates. Funderburk out of bounds. Miami ball.
It hasn't been real easy in the half court for NC State, and that possession a little stagnant.
The meeting between the teams last year was mid-January. A win for NC State 80-63, and Funderburk had 19 points in that one to lead the way for NC State. He's got the double-double this afternoon. Miami's got the ball.
And they're being very deliberate in their possessions. 8 to go. You got to go.
Beverly around Funderburk. Got the shot away and buried it.
I thought he almost waited too long. Been pretty good defense that time. Better shot.
He has tied the game for the Canes. 54 all and 2.5 to go.
Good answer out of that timeout by Miami.
This is more back iron. Bates higher than everyone for the board. Second chance NC State, and Daniels had it knocked away from Timberlake, but there was contact.
There's the look, and you see Funderburk. He's done a decent job. He's had to defend out on the perimeter, did a good job keeping in front, was just beat by a better jumper.
6 points for Harlan Beverly. The foul by Timberlake was his 4th, and that puts Daniels at the free throw line. First free throws for Daniels. It's only going to get 1 attempt out of bounds and to Miami.
Yeah, those 7 through 9 fouls, unless they're shooting fouls, so critical. You knock down that front end, at least the front end of the 1-and-1.
54 all. Long saved it. Beverly. Choppy possession from Miami.
This one is going nowhere fast. Clock on their back.
Inside of 2 minutes in regulation. Wong got the soft bounce on the shot by Wong.
What a take.
22 points, Mike.
I mean, that possession was dead, and he manufactured something out of it. He's smiling right there. He knows. Maybe it is the.
That is not the set they drew up.
Boom, 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 in it. That rim is, both rims for both teams, very forgiving.
Very generous. And more importantly for Wong and the Canes, they've taken the lead back by 2. 56, 54, and 1:45 to go.
And this is where Miami has to get mentally tough, because this is where they've had issues with those losses.
This is Daniel stepping back for 3. He did not get the bounce. Wong bringing it up. Miami went 7.5 minutes without hitting a shot, but they've made their last 5. Bates had the block and the contact. Foul called on Bates. That's his 3rd.
His 3rd. And his 2nd team foul.
So Bates has the bandage on the hand. Mike, remember he cut the hand in the first half.
And he came up a couple of possessions ago, a little gimpy on the defensive end.
Timberlake now 2 for 3 from the line at 8 points, and Bates is coming out. Yeah, might be a little hitch in the giddy up there, Mike.
Yeah, it's not running smoothly.
One more for Timberlake. Miami responding with an 8-0 run.
And, Manny Bates over on the sideline is not sitting down, trying to keep whatever it is loose.
You can see him in the background doubled over a little bit.
Yeah.
Three-pointer from Allen in the corner. As we go inside of a minute to play, and Allen has 14 points. It's a one-point game after the jumper from Thomas Allen. 57.6 seconds to go. So while Manny Bates tries to shake it off on the sideline there, his teammate Thomas Allen, who averages just over 6 points per game, just hit a three-pointer to make it a one-point game.
Here's the look, just sliding along, going up, trying to get the block, and yeah, just that left ankle turned it over.
14 points is a season high for Thomas Allen. He's the leading scorer, and he's 4 of 5 from three-point distance. It's now 15 threes on the season for Allen. That leads this NC State team. Capable hands of Isaiah Wong. Game high 22 points at the moment. And a 1-point Miami lead. He'll cross it over. Wong decides to shoot it. The tip up and in. Looked like Timberlake on the inside, Mike.
Yeah, and I think he got inside of Shaquille Moore on that play. Again, we talked about him using his size. He anticipated the shot, and it was a soft rebound.
It's 10 points for Timberlake. 4 games in a row, double digits, and he gets the rebound. 18 seconds on the game clock. NC State forced to foul. So there was a foul called. Checking on the ownership of that foul, and it's Thomas Allen, his third. So both teams in the bonus.
And you look at who's in the game right now. Thomas Allen, the best three-point shooter for NC State on the floor. Shaquille Moore also, and they're going to bring Braxton Beverly back in for some offense. So they've got the 3 guys on the perimeter are all very good three-point shooters.
Three or 4 from the line for Timberlake in the game. And 11 points.
Just a 1-on-1 situation, so this first one critical.
That makes it a 2-possession game as well. Miami also 5 of 12 on three-pointers. And that's interesting because they came in as the worst shooting team from beyond the arc in the league, Mike. Big free throws from Timberlake. 62-57. 17 seconds to go. So NC State has the ball, but trailing after the Timberlake free throws with 17.1 seconds to go. They had a 1-point halftime lead. Jim Larinaga trying to pass the legend John Wooden on the all-time wins list. If he can hang on and win this game. It's been tough down the stretch for Miami, Mike.
And I was at the game as a sideline reporter when George Mason beat UConn to get to the Final Four. And you want to talk about a euphoric crowd. What a special moment.
Coach Larinaga's team hasn't won a game since December 19th against Jacksonville, Mike.
And before he arrived down at Coral Gables, sellouts were not the norm at that arena. And you take out COVID, and that place has turned into a very, very tough home court.
10 years on the bench for Miami and Jim Larinaga. 4 trips to the NCAA tournament. Of course, there was no tournament last year, so see how things evolve this season.
And let's see how they play this out. And you know, NC State doesn't have to go for the home run 3 right here. They can do it quickly.
Beverly. Shaquille Moore. Weak side Wong. With just 7 seconds left, he gets fouled by Allen.
Yeah,
they did go for the long ball.
Yeah, they looked at it, and he did get a pretty good, shot at it.
Allen picked up the foul.
And then there's Chris Likes, who is still with Utah side, very involved in the timeouts, very involved in the huddles. He's working it all. He's taped up and has the clipboard.
Maybe the next career for Chris Likes. Of course, he wants to get back on the floor for Miami this season.
He didn't want to start on his second career for quite a while.
No. And he did go through warm-ups, which is good news today, starting to get back into the flow.
This is going to be a huge mental health win for Miami, and just so many close calls. 0-4 in the conference.
Wong now has 24 points. Funderburg beats the clock with 1 second left. But it is not going to be enough. 64-59. Miami goes on the road and wins against NC State and stops a 3-game losing streak in the series. And that's career win number 665 for Jim Larinaga.
Yeah, proud moment for him, but he's just thinking short term right now. He wants to get his 2 best players healthy, back out on the floor, but a very resilient group to this point.
Fantastic game today. Another close one for these teams. Isaiah Wong led the way for Miami with 24 points and 9 rebounds. Don't forget tomorrow women's action. Miami and North Carolina from Chapel Hill. For Mike Jaminski and our outstanding ACC basketball production crew, I'm Tom Wormy saying so long from Raleigh. It's the Canes over the Pack in ACC basketball.